You have probably said it yourself or heard someone else say it. I can't lose weight because I have a slow metabolism. And today we are going to completely break down whether that is actually true, because what you are about to learn might change the way you look at fat loss forever. So stick around till the end, because this is going to save you years of frustration and misplaced blame. First, let's define what metabolism actually is, because most people think of it as one single thing. But metabolism is really the sum of every chemical process happening in your body to keep you alive. And the biggest chunk of that, usually around 60 to 70%, comes from something called your basal metabolic rate, which is simply the energy your body burns just to exist, to breathe, to pump blood, to keep your organs functioning, even if you laid in bed all day and did absolutely nothing. And on top of that, you have the thermic effect of food, which is the energy used to digest what you eat. And then you have your activity level, both structured exercise and something called NEAT, which stands for non-exercise activity thermogenesis. And this includes things like walking, fidgeting, standing up, doing chores, and all the small movements throughout your day that add up more than people realize. Now here is the myth that needs to die immediately. The idea that some people are simply cursed with a slow metabolism while others are blessed with a fast one. And the truth is that metabolic rate does vary from person to person, but the variation between individuals of similar size, age, and body composition is usually much smaller than people assume. Research on metabolic rate differences shows that most of the variation between people can be explained by muscle mass, body size, age, and activity level, not some mysterious broken metabolism. So if two people are the exact same height, weight, and body composition, their metabolisms are usually going to be fairly close to each other. And the real differences we see in real life mostly come down to how much people are actually moving throughout the day without even realizing it. This is where NEAT becomes incredibly important, and it is honestly one of the most underrated factors in the entire fitness industry, because studies have shown that NEAT can vary by hundreds, even up to a couple thousand calories per day between two people of similar size. Someone who naturally fidgets, takes the stairs, walks around while on the phone, and stays generally active throughout the day without structured exercise can burn dramatically more calories than someone who sits still most of the time. And this is a massive part of why some people seem to eat whatever they want and stay lean while others struggle. It is not always a magic metabolism. It is often just a difference in total daily movement that nobody is tracking. Now let's talk about something very real that does happen, and this is called metabolic adaptation. And this occurs when you diet for a long period of time in a calorie deficit. Your body actually does slow down slightly as a survival mechanism. This happens through a few pathways. Your NEAT tends to decrease because your body subconsciously makes you move less. Your thyroid hormone output can decrease slightly, and your body becomes a bit more efficient at using energy. And this is a real measurable phenomenon that has been studied in extreme dieting scenarios. However, the key thing to understand is that this adaptation is usually a decrease of a few hundred calories at most, not the dramatic, unfixable metabolic damage that gets thrown around on social media. And in most cases, this adaptation reverses once you come out of a prolonged deficit and return to maintenance calories for a period of time. This brings us to the psychology side of this topic, because the slow metabolism excuse often becomes a mental trap that stops people from taking honest inventory of their actual habits. And this is not meant to shame anyone, because tracking everything accurately is genuinely difficult. Studies have repeatedly shown that people tend to underestimate how much they eat and overestimate how much they move. Not because they are lying, but because it is incredibly easy to forget bites here and there, sauces, oils, drinks, and small snacks throughout the day. And it is just as easy to overestimate calories burned during a workout, because fitness trackers and gym equipment are often inaccurate. So when someone says, "I barely eat anything and I still can't lose weight," in the vast majority of cases, once actual tracking is introduced with a food scale and an honest log, the picture becomes much clearer. And this is not a personal failure. It is simply how human memory and perception work. From a bodybuilding and strength training perspective, there is actually a powerful tool hiding inside this whole conversation, and that is muscle mass. Because muscle tissue is metabolically active, meaning it burns more calories at rest compared to fat tissue. So while you cannot drastically change your genetic metabolic rate, you absolutely can influence your metabolism over time by building and maintaining muscle through resistance training. And this is one of the most science-backed, sustainable ways to slightly raise your baseline calorie burn over months and years. On top of the fact that strength training improves insulin sensitivity, bone density, and overall body composition. So instead of chasing metabolism hacks or extreme supplements, the actual evidence-based path forward is lifting weights consistently, eating adequate protein, and staying active throughout the day, not just during workouts. So what should you actually take away from all of this? The truth is your metabolism is probably not broken, and blaming a slow metabolism, while comforting in the moment, usually distracts from the two things that actually move the needle, which are consistent movement throughout your entire day and an honest, accurate understanding of what you are eating. And once you shift your focus from why is my metabolism against me to how can I move more and track more honestly, you put yourself back in control instead of feeling like a victim of your own biology. And that mental shift alone is often the difference between people who make progress and people who stay stuck for years blaming something that was never really the problem in the first place. If this video helped clear things up for you, smash that like button and subscribe for more science-based fitness and psychology content that actually makes sense.